Very good. So welcome. Today's meditation is dedicated to releasing the old and welcoming the new. And I can't believe it's a year already. It just feels like yesterday that we were all here. Every January 1st, I try to offer this meditation just for all of us to kind of get together, quickly review what happened last year and kind of make a very conscious transition from the old to the new, so that we just don't sleepwalk through the years of our life. And I can't believe it's a year already. Yet, on the other hand, if you look at it, yesterday we were doing this in our family. We have this tradition, highly recommend, that, on 31st December, the four of us sit down and review the past year, the good, the bad, and the beautiful. And said, the year went by so fast. And my daughter said, Mom, I said, where did the year go? And she said, if you want to know where the year went, pick up your phone and look through it, which was a great idea. Because on one hand, I felt like, what is 2023 already? Where did the days go? But on the other hand, when I picked up my phone and started browsing, it was so interesting. People we met, celebrations that we participated in. Sometimes it was just, a picture I took of a flower, a sunset, and so many beautiful moments. So I highly recommend that if you have the time, do that. Go through your pictures of 2022. They do tell 1,000 stories that you may have forgotten. And that is why this moment is important, because we stop, we pause, we kind of take stock of the year that has passed, and we make a conscious transition into the next year. I was thinking about annuals and plants and how they have an annual cycle. And I was thinking we are also in that same kind of thing. But if you look at a plant's life, it starts with a seed, and then it waits to germinate, then it flower, and then it goes through, its own processes, and finally it dies and leaves the seeds to start another cycle. In the same way, it is for us. We go through a year, and we meet together on 1st January, and although we may not share it with one another, we pause and we ask ourselves what we want to do, and we take the seeds of our intention. But it's not only our intention that matters. So many things happen, the environment, the weather, for just like a plant, the weather, the birds that come and peck at the plant. In the same way, we have all kinds of things happening, but, we take our intention and make of the year what we can. And we go through the cycles within the year, and then we are back. But we don't start the new year on an empty plate. We come with the seeds of the previous year. And at this point of time, when we pause, what are we doing? We are looking at the seeds that we have from the previous year, and we are going to review what of these seeds do I want to carry forward. So release the old. What are we releasing? So I just want to have you participate in some reflections about this before we start our meditation. Because when we talk about releasing the old, what can we release? Can I release the fact that there is a war going on, which started during this past year, and reading about which on a daily basis caused so much anguish to so many of us? Can I make that go away? Is that releasing? No, releasing is not, well, that happened and now I'll go out and have a happy life. That's just denying. That's turning your back on reality. That's not releasing. So what are we releasing? Obviously, we can't release the facts. What has happened, what has transpired, whether it is in our personal life, the collective life, or the global life, that has transpired. What we are releasing is how we looked at it, with the baggage that we might carry from it. Gautam Buddha, the founder of Buddhism, he taught, and later on, the great master Thich Nhat Hanh made it very famous. He spread that message, and that was to give us the analogy of the two arrows. He said the first arrow is what happens to you. The second arrow is how you deal with it, what you say to yourself about it. The second arrow is the feelings of anger, anguish, hopelessness, victimhood. That's all the second arrow. And, the teachings say the pain that is there, some pain of it is inevitable because this is part of being human. But it is not the first arrow that we are trying to release. That's not in our control. We cannot release the first arrow because it was never, given within our jurisdiction. What we are trying to release is the second arrow. The second arrow is the victimhood, the fear, the hopelessness, the anguish, the anger with someone. And that's why you may have heard this often. It is said, forgive, but do not forget. Yeah, what does forgiveness do? Forgiveness releases that second arrow, you see? So as we sit here and we say, okay, I want to release the past, what are we releasing? We are not releasing the events of the past because we cannot. We cannot release those memories because some of them are etched in us and they will probably go with us when we pass from this planet. So we cannot release the memories, but we can release all the baggage around it, all the stories that we have said to ourselves about it, all the fear around it. We can release that second arrow so that we move forward, but we move forward not with the victimhood from the past, but with a new resolve. Okay, this is my new reality that was there since last year to this year. How am I going to move forward? And that's where we come into the second part of welcoming the new. So the old is all the fears and the stories, the way we have connected the dots about the past that led us either downhill or led us to a dead end. So those are the things we are going to release. And what are we going to now welcome? We are going to welcome courage. We are going to welcome fortitude. We are going to welcome hope. We are going to welcome imagination so that we can think in new ways that have never been thought before, new possibilities. And where do these possibilities lie? Where does the old live? Where does the new live? If you look at the spiritual teachings of the world, they say the old is not in some other place. Of course, I have got pages and pages of my journal filled with the old, but that's not where it really is living. It lives inside of us. The old and the new both live inside of us. So when we are releasing the old and enlivening the new, we really have to go back to ourselves. In the Gita, which is like the Bible to the Hindus, and many of you have studied the Gita with me, there is a very beautiful chapter in which Krishna says, and I have a quote from the Gita, which I'd like to share with you here, which will kind of help to concretize this. This is, he says, the field and the knower. He says, the body is called the field. The one who watches whatever happens within it. Wise men call him the knower. I am the knower of the field in every body. Genuine knowledge means knowing both the field and its knower. So this is what we are looking at, right? The field. The field is where? Where is the field? It is the body. It is here, the body. Right? In the body and the mind live both the possibilities of the future and the difficulties of the past. So the body is called the field. But we are not the one, we have to look at this as, look, there are two things here. One is the field, but then he says the one who watches whatever happens within it. Wise men call him the knower. I am the knower of the field in every body. That means that inside of us, while there is one thinking and feeling faculty, the feeling part of me says, oh my God, this awful thing is happening. The thinking part of me immediately says, who made it happen? Let's try to analyze this. Let's try to figure, how did this happen? How did we get here? So there is the thinking and feeling part, and all of that belongs in the field. You see, in the field, and in this chapter, he goes on to say more and more about what is the field. He says the field is made of the five senses. The field is made of what you see from the five senses, the inputs that you get from the five senses. All of this is the field. All my feelings, my thoughts, all of that is in the field. But then he says, inside also there is the knower. That means the one who is the witness. This year, many of us have been, for a large part, we did some intense book groups with Michael Singer's Untethered Soul and then Living Untethered. And this point was made by him over and over and over and over again. And so at this time, when we are wrapping up the year, I just feel like we have to go back and revisit what he said. Over and over again, he says, you are not your thoughts. You are not your feelings. You are the one who observes, right? You are the one who observes. Who is it in us? Who is the knower of the field? That observer in us is nothing but the divine presence. You see, the eye with which I see the world, the eye in that higher self in me is the one who sits back and watches and says, oh my God, I see this was the first arrow, and I see this the second arrow. I see that this happened to me, and I see how I made a whole baggage around it. That presence that is in us that observes it, right? That is the knower of the field. And that knower of the field is nothing but the divine in us. So we can access the divine in us. How do we access the divine in us? By stepping out of our stories. By watching, recognizing all the pain that is there, all the things, the baggage that is there, not only the positive things, even the good things. When I look at it and I say to you, oh my God, I realize over this year, I have really gotten addicted to podcasts and YouTube videos, and I love listening to thinkers. I love listening to so-and-so. Well, that's also something that you've kind of, gotten so attached to that you have got identified with it. So when we step back in meditation, what we are doing is we are stepping back from all the things, opinions, addictions, sentiments, feelings that we are so attached to. And we are stepping back from them and saying, I am the witness and I am observing all this arising in me. And when you are lodged in that witness consciousness, that's only then can you release all that you don't need. Stepping into the role of the witness, we release, we step back and we say, I don't need this anymore. I am ready to release this. I am ready to come to a place of witness consciousness. I am ready to come to a place of equanimity. I am ready to surrender and stop resisting all that had happened to me and move to a place of equanimity. So surrender is not giving up. It's just moving from the notion of giving, of fighting, running in the same place and thinking you have covered ground. That's what many of us do. We're just keeping on ruminating about it and thinking, oh, I got this. No, you don't have this. You just have all your thoughts and opinions about it. Surrendering is stepping back and saying, I am done with all this thinking, and I am ready to release all the stories and make room for that first arrow. Nothing can make that first arrow go away. But I can move forward in the new year and think about how can I make lemonade with lemons, or how can I see the things that I have perceived as obstacles in the past to seeing them as opportunities in the future. As Pema Chodron says, karma is your life giving you all the lessons you need to learn to open up some more. So this is the time for us to step back, see where we have shut down. Seeing more clearly, the more we step into witness consciousness, the more clearly we see it. And the more clearly we see it, the more we are able to step out of it. The more we are able to step out of it, the more we are able to release it. We release our attachment to it. And the more we are able to release our attachment to the old, we can step into the new, reimagine the future, reimagine, open up to the possibilities, and welcome the magical events that could happen in 2023. And that's what we are going to do in our meditation today. In order to take the teachings that I have just shared with you and bring it into meditation, I will be using a lot of teachings from Thich Nhat Hanh and other mindfulness teachers who took these very teachings and transformed them into different meditation techniques, which we are going to be applying right now. So come, let us get started. Let's get started. I'm going to make myself sit more comfortably than I already was, and I invite you to do the same. You can keep your cameras on or turn it off as you feel comfortable. I'm going to keep mine on, of course, so you can see me when you feel like opening your eyes and checking that everything is all around you, just the way it was. So sit comfortably. The spine. I always talk about holding the spine in a way that is comfortable. The spine is the bridge between heaven and earth. And as we apply today's teachings, the spine is the bridge between the field and the knower of the field. Heaven is the knower of the field, the observer. Earth is this realm where we feel the hurt, the pain of the first arrow, the rational thinking mind trying to figure out why it happened and how to stop it from happening again. And between those two is the spine. So whether you're lying down or sitting up, align your attention with the spine. Orient your breathing in such a way that you experience your breath as if it is coming and going through the spine. This way we move back, away from the field and closer to the knower. We step back from all those reactions in us. We turn the 5 senses inward, one sense at a time, behind closed lids. We take our awareness to the world within us, the sense of sound, although we continue to hear the sounds on the outside. We pay attention to the silence within. Sense of touch turned inward, sense of smell turned inward. Sight, sound, touch, smell, taste. Take them all in. Just now, we hit pause on the outer world of experiences that take us into the field. And we turn our attention to the knower of the field. Take a deep breath, breathing all the way in. And exhale slowly and completely. Do it a few times. Deepening your breath, slowing, extending your exhale. And then gradually return to regular breathing. Return to regular breathing. And one breath, one memory at a time. Move away from the field to the knower of the field. Think of this year that has passed. The joys, the sorrows, where do they live? They live here in the field. How do we know they live here? We know it from the sensations we examine. When I feel a sensation in my body, that feels either positive, upbeat, hopeful, optimistic, or negative, fear, anger, sadness, hopelessness. Just observe. You don't have to do anything. In the act of observing and reminding ourselves, these are my thoughts. They are not me. These are my feelings. I feel them. I am not them. We get in touch with our body. We experience the sensations of pleasure and pain. And we step back. These are my sensations. These are not who I am, but this is what I am feeling. It's like your home. You live in your home. You experience the great light in your home, a leakage here, a faucet dripping there. But you are not your home. You are the one living in that home and having these experiences. In the same way, we look at these things. We identify them, but we don't identify with them. There's a sensation. When I think of this memory, I feel my spirits lift. I feel my spirits go down. And I step back with every little ripple. I step back and claim my position as the witness of the ripple. That's the field. These are the events that happened in the world, in my world. And I am the one witnessing it. I step back with every ripple that I experience. Let us take this work to another level now. I see this negative feeling rise in me. Breathing in, I recognize it. Breathing out, I smile at it. Let's do it again. I recognize this negative feeling attached to this event that happened this year or in the past, who knows when. I see all the feelings attached with this memory. Breathing in, I acknowledge it. Breathing out, I step away from it. Breathing in, I see it. Breathing out, I smile at it. Breathing in, I recognize my addiction to my victimhood. Breathing out, I step back from it and smile at it. Breathing in, I see my attachment to my opinions. Breathing out, I step away and smile at my opinions. Recognizing, smiling. Smiling means we stop resisting. And that's the first step towards detaching. I recognize, I smile. I smile, I step away. I step away, I release and let it go. Let's do it again. Pick any memory, anything you want to release. And let's start again. I feel it. I breathe in, I feel it. I breathe out, I acknowledge it. Yes, this is still lingering. I breathe in, I acknowledge it. I breathe out, I smile at it. Smiling at it, I breathe in. Breathing out, I step away from it. Stepping away from it, I breathe in. And I release it. As I exhale, I let it go. Let's do it one more time. You can work with the same issue or something else. Same 4 steps. Breathing in, I recognize the sensation. Breathing out, I acknowledge the baggage in me. Acknowledging the baggage, I breathe in. Breathing out, I smile at my baggage. Smiling at my baggage, I breathe in. Exhaling, I step aside from my baggage. Stepping aside from my baggage, I breathe in. Exhaling, I decide I am ready to release it. I let it all go. We're going to do all these 4 steps one last time. Again, you can work with whatever you want to. We start with the same steps. Breathing in, I recognize where it lives in my body. Breathing out, I acknowledge its presence. Acknowledging its presence, I breathe in. Breathing out, I smile at this long-held stuff. Breathing in, I smile at this long-held stuff. Breathing out, I step aside. Stepping aside, I breathe in. And as I exhale, I let it all go. It is time to let it all go. As I step closer and closer to the knower in me, I let the seeds of the past remain in the past. Back to the field they go. They have no life in them anymore, for I have withdrawn all that life as I have reclaimed my place as the knower of the field. The memories are there, but they have no life. Breathing in, breathing out, I claim my freedom. As the knower of the field. As the knower of the field, I turn my attention to the life that awaits me in 2023 and beyond. I take the seeds from the past that are now held like blank slates, or maybe slates with some beautiful offerings already there for the new year. Things I want to carry to the new are still there. And into these seeds, I breathe in new possibilities. I think of things I want to experience and embody in the new year and beyond. Possibilities, attributes I wish to embody: patience, kindness, courage, initiative, fearlessness, compassion. Whatever speaks to you, think about it. Think about possibilities, words, visions for the new year. See them in your mind's eye. See them in your mind's eye. Breathing in, I see this vision. Breathing out, I embody them, bringing them into the field of play. The field is here. we bring life to the seeds that are dormant in us. Breathing in, I see the new. Breathing out, I enliven those possibilities in my body, my mind, my field. Let's spend a moment getting in touch with our personal visions. What do you want to welcome in the new year? What do we want to welcome in the new year for the world? We start by envisioning them ourselves, bringing heaven down to earth from imagination to co-creation, from the knower to the field, from that in us that knows anything and everything is possible, bringing it down into the field of play. We reverse the process. Breathing in, I breathe in the possibilities. Breathing out, I embody them. I bring them into the body, into the mind, into my life, into my world. Breathing in, I see this is possible. Breathing out, I believe it is possible. Breathing in, I imagine the possibilities. Deep inhale. Breathing out, I bring them, I download them into my personal field of play. Breathing in, I envision a future. Breathing out, I draw it into my reality. Breathing in, I breathe in endless possibilities for peace, plenty, and prosperity. Breathing out, I bring it into my body, my field. I bring it into the earth, into the globe, into the planet, into all of creation. Let us take a few deep breaths now. Breathing in all that we can, all the goodness. And as we exhale, bringing it through into us and through us into the world. May my breath, my exhale become a blessing upon myself. As I take a deep breath, I bring the blessings from heaven. And as I exhale, I bring the blessings to my body, my life, my family, my community, my world, and the rest of the world. Breathe in the magic. Breathe out, embody the magic. Only when we believe it, when we believe it at a deep level, breathing in the possibilities. And as I exhale, I embody, I believe that it is possible. I feel it in my bones. I lock it in my cells. And I send it as a blessing upon all of the planet and beyond. May our work today be a blessing upon us, our families, our communities, and our world. May the possibilities that we are able to envision and download become realities that we will all experience in the coming year. Let's take another big, deep, magical breath. Take a big, deep, magical breath and bringing it down. I see the possibilities. I feel the possibilities. I believe in the possibilities. I embody the possibilities, and I share the possibilities with the rest of the planet as blessings upon all of us. May we each be the change we wish to see in our world. May we each embody the possibilities we wish to see in our lives. May we each become a blessing upon ourselves and the world around us. Gradually, as and when you are able to, return your 5 senses to the world outside. Get back in touch with your body. Slowly attune yourself to the sounds outside. Let the taste buds once again prepare to taste the pleasures of the world outside. As and when you are able to, let your eyes once again roll outwards, and as and when you are able to, open your eyes and come back.